Hi guys, we're looking at day 228, looking at the Chronicles reading and a bit of Corinthians. Just to start off with the Chronicles, all I can say is it just blew me away. As I've read it, I've tried reading this twice now, and I've just come away and I've just had to lie down and worship God afterwards. I'm just hoping and praying that He's given me something to share with you, but the reading, it just filled my heart with joy, and I just wanted to worship Him. When I did sit down and try to get something, there was the preparation of bringing the ark to the temple, and it was just what the people did. It said there were so many sacrifices that there was too many, they couldn't count them. There was all the singing, all these people, and just the fact all the people were there. And then you had Solomon's prayer. It was such an honest and heartfelt prayer, talking about the promises that were fulfilled, and who God is and the provision that God gave. And then a sequence of who can actually come and pray, and for God to hear them, whole different situations that could happen. And then what's really blown me away is God's action. There was the Holy of Holies, when the ark was placed in the temple for the first time, that it was filled with a cloud of God's presence, and it resulted in the priests were unable to do what they'd gone in to do. God's glory, the glory of God, was in the cloud. And then there was something else that after Solomon had said his prayer, I'm sorry, I'm just getting, even now just recounting it, I'm just getting overwhelmed again. Just that the fire came down and consumed all the sacrifices. And when I read it, I know it sounds a bit weird, but when I read it, I actually jumped when I read that the fire came down, as though I was seeing it. And it just said about the people that they just knelt down and worshipped God. Now for me, when I've read this, it's just stopped me. I've just had to stop reading the Bible verse and just start worshipping God, because I believe that whilst we don't have the animals to sacrifice or something like that, we ourselves, we can worship as the Israelites did. We can be sold out, just have this one focus, one heart, one mind, our whole being, just worshipping God. He's just be the centre of our attention. And I believe God will consume us, will fill our being, so that just as we pour out ourselves to Him as a sacrifice to Him, that He's going to just be number one in our lives, that we'll be consumed by Him, so much so that sometimes we can be overflowing and incapable of doing anything because we're just so full of Him. I'm just reminded, and I just keep being reminded over the last few days, 1 Corinthians 6 verse 19, where it says we are a temple of the Holy Spirit. And I think when I read this Chronicles reading, it was telling just this, it's just as I read it, the Holy Spirit inside of me, I don't know whether it was doing somersaults or what, but it was just leaving me wrecked, that I just had to lie there and just worship God for who God is. So sorry, I haven't really got much to share. It was just, I guess the thing I had to share is that I just got blown away by it, about the worship, about the prayer, about what God did, and just this revelation of what God can do in our lives. And then in Corinthians, after I'd sort of read the Chronicles and had to lie there and then pick it up again to try and get something to share here. I did have a quick look at Corinthians, and what I took from that is that we should be on our guard about what we give our attention, what we do, and also what we think. And that sometimes we should guard our minds and our choices of what's at hand, that we make sure that what we do is just being true to God, because there's so many things which can grab our attention, and we can do them in a sort of ignorance, but sort of we know what we're doing really. But it was just that this thing about sacrifices. The sacrifices could be for God, or our sacrifices could be to demons, and it just that's all I got. That we should just guard ourselves, be mindful of what we do. So I also checked out the Bible in a Year website, and they've got some good stuff on there. So have a read through that. But the only thing I can share with you is the Chronicles just blew me away. Just with the worship. So hopefully there's something here that's blessed you, and I hope you have a great week. Bye.